Israel strikes on 30 Iranian fuel depots on Saturday went far beyond what the U.S. expected when Israel notified it in advance, according to a U.S. official, Israeli official, and a source with knowledge.
Wait, the U.S. official and the Israeli official were without knowledge?
Well, those are official people, and then there's this third person with knowledge. The IDF claimed in a statement that the fuel depots, quote, this is almost predictable, are used by the Iranian regime to supply fuel to different consumers, including its military organs. Those are military fuels. Everything's military until it's their own, and then everything's civilian. They even said to different consumers, including military. It's like, okay, but who else does it include? Would you say it also includes civilians? So it might be civilian infrastructure? Because it seems like America's concerned that it's civilian infrastructure. The U.S. message to Israel was WTF. Welcome to Loaded Talk. I'm your congressman, the third most popular candidate to ever be. I'm Frank, and along with me as always.
What's up, planet Earth? I'm Bean.
Bean. Semonite Shamalam. Lindsey Graham, if you haven't seen, is proudly against the anti-Semonites. And that is why Bean is here representing Semonites all over the globe. Well, we're still at not war.
Thank you.
But maybe we're kind of at war, but not in a... So there's stuff going on in Iran using the military and military ordnance fired at them, and then they're firing stuff at us and other people. Also military, like ordnance. But Congress didn't vote on a war, and it's not a war. So it's going on. It's funny, I was going to talk about this message I saw, because what you don't know about me is I've got sources everywhere, Charlie. The White House. Everywhere. So this message sent out by a Secret Service agent who was just saying, don't live in fear or anything, but maybe avoid crowded gatherings, big public events. Just know your surroundings and beware of big gatherings of Americans right now. And, that was kind of the message. I couldn't really say much because he sees lots of stuff in his job that he can't really talk about. But yeah, to avoid big groups. And so you see that, you go, oh, well, that's fun. Secret Service casually reaching out to maybe a friend or family member to be like, hey, something's about to go down. You go, oh, good. Well, now ABC News is reporting that Iran, we'll let everybody see. Why not? Iran may be... wise guy, eh? Iran may be activating sleeper cells outside the country. So the U.S. has intercepted encrypted communications believed to have originated in Iran that may serve as an operational trigger for, quote, sleeper assets outside the country, according to a federal government alert sent to law enforcement agencies. Yeah, they basically just say the same thing over and over again. Basically, it was clandestine message that they believe in response to the Ayatollah being killed. And they go, hey, it's time to do something, So I don't know. Sounds like they're not totally sure because of, I guess, the wording of it or something. But if that went out to all law enforcement, I'm sure that includes the Secret Service, and it explains this message. So, St. Patty's Day is coming up, and Boston and Savannah both do huge things. Boston seems more likely. I'm sure New York has something big. Not Boston big, but it's New York City. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out, Charlie.
Great.
Yeah, you want to go to any events?
Nope.
It's not going back to you, huh? There we go.
Hey.
Now we're back. It occurs to me that I'm going to a couple large events full of people, so that's fun. There's a big concert and then big convention. But, yeah.
Just worried that we're just setting ourselves up. Or, I'm sorry, we are being set up, not by Iran.
Oh, you set up for a false flag?
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like, the sad thing is, our government has been so dishonest and has done so much shady, manipulative stuff over the years. And, during Obama's years, legalized lying to us. The intelligence agencies can just lie to us, propagandize us. But we've had, so much of this that it's hard not to, like, false flags used to be just something, Alex Jones, false flag, and people go, all right, whatever. Now you go, I don't know, maybe. It's like the only thing I can think of is like, why would they even need to? Why would they even need to? We're already invading Iran. Like, we have already invaded or incurred upon Venezuela. Trump says Cuba's next. Actually, that's somewhere in here. Trump says regime change in Cuba may be a friendly takeover or not. He said, let's see, I'll jump to it. Why not? In Doral, Florida, President Donald Trump said Cuba would have to make a deal and a friendly takeover or face unfriendly takeover of its communist regime. It may be friendly, may not be friendly takeover. It wouldn't matter because they're down to, as I say, fumes. Trump said March 9th, they have no energy, they have no money, they're in deep trouble on a humanitarian basis. His comments came at a news conference focused largely on U.S.-Israeli war on Iran. See, they said it's a war. I like that, war on Iran as opposed to war with Iran, because it is one of those things where we're just, we do have some dead American soldiers, but we did just kind of attack them, but we didn't have to. We weren't in danger. And I get like, oh, what if they get a nuke and they death to America and they fund terrorists? And in that regard, there's always a little danger. Okay, but it's status quo danger. And I'm not saying don't do anything to end status quo danger, but it's like, it wouldn't do anything. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. Trump argued that Cuba has depended for decades on Venezuela's aid, which has run dry after the U.S. capture of Nicolas Maduro to face narco-terrorism and trafficking charges. Venezuela sends them no energy, no fuel, no oil, no money, no nothing. Without Venezuela, they couldn't have made it. Cut them off. We cut them off from everything else, so yeah, they're going to make a deal, or we'll just do it just as easy anyway. Marco Rubio, who's Cuban, he's negotiating with Cuba's leadership to avoid a military confrontation. So I guess this is already rolling. I guess you can have a multi-front not war. The details of the deal, which could cover ports, energy, tourism, are not known, but it could include relaxation of restrictions on Americans traveling to the Caribbean island. Discussions have included an off-ramp for President Miguel Diaz-Canel, which I did not know was the president of Cuba, and for members of the Castro family who ruled Cuba for decades to remain on the island. The U.S. government has floated the idea of lifting some sanctions. Whatever. He meant an old guy that wants to go back to Cuba. This is another weird thing. This picture here, the shield of the Americas. It's like, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting, especially when it comes to like BRICS and all that.
Right. It's almost like he's trying to undermine BRICS, which is, good for the U.S. dollar. But it does seem, you get Venezuela. I don't know what the long-term plan there is, but Maduro's gone. The new chick, who's, the vice president, is it a chick? Mm-hmm. And, she's kind of just saying, hey, is it okay to do this? She's falling in line, not wanting to be, shot in a bunker with a discombobulator gun. But
or have U.S. gun charges brought against her?
Yeah. It's like, you had a machine gun. It's like, I can do that here. But, Venezuela, so, like, all of a sudden you go, well, I guess you're not selling oil to, selling oil to China anymore. And I guess you probably can't have Iranians coming over because, like, Iranians and some other cats were known to go to Venezuela, and that at some point they were saying that there was some sort of training compound, like, over there, like kind of guerrilla style. And then sometimes they'd pop over to Cuba after that. And so, but Venezuela has been for a long time propping up Cuba with cash and with oil to kind of. It's kind of been it's a little light to call it a proxy war with the U.S., but it's kind of like, oh, U.S. has sanctioned you and hurt you, but, communist brothers will lift you up. So Trump is right that it's gone. Apparently, it is kind of chaotic over there right now. They've had some places have been blacked out for multiple days. People are lighting fires all over the place, mainly with trash because they don't have a lot of fuel. And so there's trash everywhere because the garbage trucks can't fuel up and pick up the trash. And people are spray painting like "it's over" on the wall and stuff like that, or on walls, which tells me the CIA is over there already. And but yeah, at this point, what are you gonna do? Like if you're Cuba, you don't have enough juice to get China or Russia or somebody to like bail you out. It's not gonna be Iran, that's for sure. It's not gonna be Venezuela, so you just go. But yeah, with BRICS, take out Venezuela and also Brazil. It's just like, well, maybe we've been a little hasty. And, Russia's busy over there. India's a weird one. They're friends with everybody, which, it's not the worst way to be. I think friends with everybody is pretty good if you can pull it off, except for Pakistan, of course. But if they could just stick to cricket on that one, I think we'll all be good.
That's a fun feud.
It's an interesting one. Nothing's better than nuclear feuds, But what are you gonna do? What were we even talking about? Why did we jump to Cuba? Whatever. Iran's still going on. I don't know. We jumped there, but false flags and everything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the thing. Like we're already going to war with Iran, which is what a big push has been for a while. Like we're doing the Middle East thing. We did Venezuela. We're gonna do Cuba. Like we seem pretty much like we're gonna come through like swinging the big stick and just knocking the hell out of people, blowing the hell out of everyone, like Lindsey Graham would say. We're gonna 2 weeks. We're gonna blow the hell out of everyone. It's like, okay, Lindsey, calm down. It's like, we're gonna blow all of them. They won't even know what's coming. Then boom, blown to hell. Yeah.
He should narrate war history on like those channels that do. It should just be him.
That would be great. And then just like as an editor, because you're watching it, you're reading the script. The editor just puts in like prolonged shots of like Vietnam, and all the dudes are sitting with their shirts off by like the rivers or whatever. It's like, and then the sweaty man with the shiny muscles just sitting there all together. Like, somebody splash water on Lindsay. Senator, get back.
like the honey badger video.
All right. Well, anyway, but yeah, so that's the only reason, like, a false flag. Why? We're already. What are we going to accomplish? Like, we don't have to talk anymore. Like, we're not even trying to go to war. I mean, we're not trying to, like, officially go to war. We're not trying to get a vote on it. We're not trying to avoid invading anything. What do you think?
I mean, if there's turmoil in this country, you get to control this country even more than you already do.
I mean, there's something to that. Post 9/11, we were the most unified we ever were, and because of that, we allowed lots of bad legislation through, like the Patriot Act. Yeah, there's something to that, and then also it shores up midterms for the party of the wartime president. That being said, I think we're in a different environment than we were in 2000, 2001, you know. I think now, if there was an attack, I think maybe Democrats, I think there'd be critics that would be blaming Trump for it being a response to an unprovoked action. Because, don't get me wrong, like, 9/11 only was a unprovoked strike if you start the clock at 9/11, or even 2001. But we'd been messing around, we've been killing people and all that kind of stuff, and this was them trying to figure out a way to fight back and knock the giant to the knees. I'm not saying it's okay. Obviously, Team America, hell yeah. But we have a tendency to go around punching people. And then if we get punched in the face, we go, what was that for? And so this one, though, if there's a response, I mean, surely not on the scale of 9/11. God, please, no. But if there is some sort of Boston Marathon kind of thing or something like that, I think a lot of people would go, well, why did you have to do that? Like, why did you go into Iran and start blowing that stuff up when they weren't a threat and now they're responding? And they told you they would activate, because that's the thing. They announced they'd activate sleeper cells if we attacked, And I think the last time we struck, they're like, if they keep doing this, we're going to activate our sleeper cells. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they got something. They've got to have something going on. I don't know what they got going on, but surely they've got something, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess we could just ask the CIA. Was that too far?
Yeah. No, that's fine. See, CIA can only track everything we do. When it comes to other countries, I mean, it's just impossible. So, sometimes you lose track of them, and then you call the wrong guy by accident and say, maybe over there. Over there's an interesting place to go. Have fun, Mahmoud. Yeah, I don't know. Well, hopefully everything's fine. But, okay, one of the big things, of course, did you see the big oil depots in Iran got missiled, got bombed, and there was just burning huge plumes of smoke, And, of course, the problem with that is what follows is, like, for real acid rain, not the stuff they used to, like, tell us about in the 90s or 80s or whatever, but, like, legitimately chemical rain. I'm trying to remember which. I want to say it's sulfides, and do you remember the other chemical?
That's the only one I heard.
Well, sulfides and something else, and then they get in the rain and they come down, and it won't be pleasant. And then in 10, 20, 30 years, we will have lots of cancer in Tehran. And, I know a more Fox News-oriented crowd would say, good, F them, But we want them to be more moderate again. We don't want them to say, you know what? The Ayatollah had a good point. Death to America. Look what they've brought to us. They've bombed a school and created a cancer cluster in the millions. And, you know, can't be like, surprise, because of Gulf War syndrome, where we did this. We set the oil fields and oopsie doopsie. Cancer everywhere. But this one, apparently, according to Axios, was not necessarily our call. So, Israel strikes on 30 Iranian fuel depots on Saturday went far beyond what the U.S. expected when Israel notified it in advance, sparking stop laughing sparking the first significant disagreement between the allies since the war began 8 days ago, according to a U.S. official, Israeli official, and a source with knowledge. They got U.S. and Israel and a third cat. She's all gonna be like, "Yep, that's kind of how it happened." So,
wait, the U.S. official and the Israeli official were without knowledge?
Well, those are official people, and then there's this third person with knowledge. I am knowledge. Come to me for answers, press. So, White Manager is concerned Israeli strikes on infrastructure that serves ordinary Iranians could backfire strategically, no joke, rallying Iranian society to support the regime and driving up oil prices. Yep. Good point. The Israeli Air Force's Saturday strikes created large fires in Tehran, igniting flames visible for miles and blanketing the capital in heavy smoke. The IDF claimed in a statement that the fuel depots, quote, this is almost predictable, are used by the Iranian regime to supply fuel to different consumers, including its military organs. Those were military fuels. Just like the building was a military building. Everything's military until it's their own, and then everything's civilian. An Israeli military official said the strikes were intended, in part, to tell Iran to stop targeting Israeli civilian infrastructure. And then Iran's lobbing stuff over there. It is hitting civilian infrastructure. But that's civilian. That's military. They even said to different consumers, including military. It's like, okay, but who else does it include? Would you say civilians? Would you say it also includes civilians? So it might be civilian infrastructure? Because it seems like America's concerned that it's civilian infrastructure because it's fuel. And as we just talked about in Cuba, they don't have any fuel and people are pissed. And they're lighting garbage on fire and storming all around. I don't know what they're doing. All right. According to Axios, behind the scenes, Israeli and U.S. officials said the IDF notified the U.S. military ahead of the strikes, but U.S. officials said the U.S. military was surprised by how wide-ranging they were. We don't think it was a good idea, a senior U.S. official said. An Israeli official said the U.S. message to Israel was WTF.
Is this real?
Yeah. This Israeli guy's like, yeah, they're like, WTF, dog. The White House and the IDF didn't comment. All right, let's see. While the facilities that were struck are not oil production facilities, U.S. officials are concerned the footage of the burning depots could spook oil markets and push energy prices even higher. The president, and look, just listen to this. Tell me it doesn't ring true. The president doesn't like the attack. He wants to save the oil. He doesn't want to burn it. And it reminds people of higher gas prices, a Trump advisor told Axios. I believe that 100%. Did you see that Trump was like, I told him, did you have to shoot all the ships? Why couldn't we just seize the ships? They could be our naval ships. Like, he literally, and he was like, they said it's too dangerous to blow them up instead. I was like, all right, why don't we seize them? Make them our ships. And so, like, of course, with the oil, he's like, whoa, we should take it. Like, don't blow it up. We should take it. Also, like, we want oil prices down. The spokesman for Iran's Qadam al-Anbiya headquarters, which oversees the military operations, of course, Charlie, you knew that, warned Saturday that if attacks on Iran's oil infrastructure continue, if there's any left, Tehran may respond with similar strikes across the region. He added that Iran so far hasn't targeted regional fuel and energy infrastructure, except for they did in Saudi Arabia. And yeah, whatever. Prices could go to 200 a barrel, whatever. Who cares? One of the most senior officials, that of tax infrastructure, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. They say don't do it, will be mean. A U.S. official says the disagreement and what the U.S. expects in the war is expected to be addressed at senior political levels between the two allies. So, sounds like they go, hey, we're going to blow something up. And we say, cool. And we go, hey, that was a lot more blowing up than you kind of made it sound like.
We said 1, you did 30.
You said you were going to blow up a fuel depot. You blew up all the depots. And like, it is. Look, we talked about it last week in terms of the school that got hit, and we'll go into that in a minute here. But it seems when it comes to Iran, and obviously Iran thinks that all of Israel should be wiped off the face of the earth, and not a big fan of any of the Jews either, outside of Israel. So, like, not nice people, and they have been funding Hamas and Hezbollah, and oh shoot, what's the other group? The third tier one down where everybody's starving.
Boko Haram.
Well, them too, yeah, but no, down in Yemen, the Houthis. I was like, I know there's another H. It's the triple H. But you know, they fund a lot of people that, yeah, send missiles or whatever, maybe not missiles, but send explosives towards Israel, kill Israelis. So obviously, it's not unreasonable for Israel to be like, hey, they suck. But it does seem like they've been waiting so long for this that they're being a little too excited.
Oh.
Like, I just feel like they should have had, like, maybe I'll let the steam out a little bit, you know? Just like,
I have this picture in my head.
just saying, like, you're a little excited, you're a little anxious. Something about Mary. They were like, hey, we got a suggestion before we go on this date. You know? And so I'm just saying they needed the war equivalent of the very famous Something About Mary and the hair goop. But, because now they're just like,
BB presses the button and then goes.
He just went full cornholio, you know? Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I guess it's not funny in that, like, literally the entire population of Tehran has been cursed, and generations are going to be lost. And I can't imagine that's going to be good for relations with Iran. I don't know how that's supposed to make Israel and Iran get together. You know, like us alone. But, you know, we go, we could get it more westernized back to the 70s, you know, how it used to be before we started meddling. But, like, you know, you see the pictures from, like, the 60s and stuff, and it's very Western, and all the Persians being, I don't know, stylish and looking good. And then all of a sudden they go, hey, cover that shit up. And so we go, why don't we go back to that? And everyone goes, yeah, that would be cool if we went back to that. I don't know how this will get us there. I mean, maybe they can at least loosen the hyper religious grip, especially because, like, the leadership of Iran follows a very specific sort of end of days version of Islam. 12th Imam comes crawling out of the well. Do you know about this?
I've heard, yes.
Yeah, so apparently this Imam's been all dead. But climb out of that well. In Christianity, actually the story kind of exists too. In Christianity, though, the kind of the 12th Imam character is he's got a different name. It's the Antichrist. Same story though. It's just, I mean, very similar story. But in Christianity, they call him the Antichrist. In this flavor of Islam, it's called the 12th Imam. Apparently, Antichrist lives in a well. If only Sting could sing a song for the 12th Imam, we could save this whole thing. We need Sting and a cadre of celebrities to hold hands. Oh, God. Can we resurrect Michael Jackson for this? Because I feel like we need Michael Jackson for this.
Just get Project Bluebeam in order there.
Is Project Bluebeam supposed to resurrect people?
Oh, it's the hologram project.
Oh, I thought we were talking about
Sorry.
space lasers.
Yeah,
I was thinking about blue roofs and space lasers. All right, well, I accidentally tipped it. Normally, you're the one that tips it the crazy way. I just assumed you were saying something crazy. What I'm saying is it's your fault, Charlie.
It's all those countries. Back, well, you mentioned going back to like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Well, 60s, 70s.
Iran hostage crisis kind of.
Yeah, Iran, Syria, Libya, they're all beautiful places, great architecture, and then we just carpet bombed everything.
Yeah.
And all the people did not want, from what I've heard, the majority don't like the heavy religious stuff. And we're like, hey, all right, we'll help you out. And then we blanket the whole country.
So what?
And they're like, well, that's not what we were going for.
And some of it kind of comes before that, where we realized we started getting we got high on our own supply of power, right? And we go, we don't even have to, like, we're the only force in the world, but we can meddle. We can meddle. And so, you prop up a regime here, you prop up a regime there. But then what happens is you get people go, this guy is like an American puppet. Like, he just does whatever America says. And then, so you'll get a chunk of people who are like, yeah. And they'll be like sort of a people's revolution movement, socialist uprising, communist or what have you. Typically, though, they fly the flag of socialism or what have you. And they go, we should take it back, make Iran, Syria, whoever, great again. And then you get the religious folks too, that are like, yeah, this is an affront to, in these areas, Islam, like this is these Western notions are an affront and we should get rid of them. And so, you get these two sides that team up and go, well, we both say get rid of America. And because they're just playing, they're running our country this whole time. And so at some point they go, and if we don't hold them, which we haven't held them, they overrun. And then typically it's either, unless you got a strong military leader involved, it tends to be the religious side that takes over and kills the socialists and all those cats, and then really rules with an iron fist. But no matter what, it ends with someone ruling with an iron fist, and then eventually, we carpet bomb and everything. But there is beautiful, like I was saying last week or whenever, like if you've never done like street views or whatever in like Saudi Arabia, I mean, just mosques in general have really neat tile work. The patterns that are used in a lot of Arabic construction, architecture, what have you, they're good looking, I don't know if I mentioned this last week. Hold on, my lovely bride is asking if I need beer. I'll give her a no.
Hold on, folks.
That's important. I was like, I don't want to double up. I kind of want to double up. I shouldn't have done this. I failed, Charlie. But no, I got a buddy who's an artist, and he had this project called the Pakistani cargo truck. Because in Pakistan, the way that, like, if you're a plumber or something, the way you get business is you have this crazy ornate truck, and they're very colorful. Search it. And so he made one. He's American. His dad, I think his dad was from Pakistan. Mom's American. I think he was from there. I don't think he was just of Pakistani heritage. I think he was Pakistani. Anyway, and yet they let the cousin be an FBI agent. But that's a story for a different time. But anyway, he would do all the steel work and stuff for this cargo truck. And what he does with a lot of his steel work is he uses different like Arabic kind of patterns, whether it's from the written language or just things that are familiar sort of in that culture. So he incorporates a lot of that into like his steel work today. And it's I don't know, it's good looking. It's undeniably good looking, so it would be nice if we didn't have like the fundamentalist crazies running things over there, and people could kind of get back to, because then the Arabs invented math, right? Mm-hmm. They're called Arabic numerals. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, we can have good things come from all these cultures, like all of them. We don't have to, not just some of them, all of them. I was trying to figure out a joke to make where I could insult somebody without it being too racist. I couldn't figure out a group. Yeah. Pygmies. Not the pygmies. The pygmies don't get to contribute. I don't think they've got like a political block. Everything good's going to come from everybody, but not the pygmies. God help you. Charlie, if the pygmies start trying to contribute to mathematics, we're going to have problems. Little pygmy astronomers portraying Lindsey Graham. All right. Sorry. Didn't want to get Semitic there. All right. So we're going to talk about this. And so none of this is necessarily great news about everything that's going on. Human suffering and all that is never positive. Retaliatory strikes on our motherland is not positive if it happens. But Trump says war against Iran is nearly over. See, after only 10 days of the military operation against Iran, President Donald Trump says it's close to being complete. The president made the comments, who cares when? I think the war is very complete, pretty much. Feel you confidence, Charlie? I think the war is very complete, pretty much. They have no Navy, no communications, they got no Air Force. Which he told a CBS reporter whose name I can't pronounce.
I'm just sorry. How do they not have communications if they just sent out a encrypted message?
Well, I think that was after the Ayatollah got popped, which was at the beginning. But also, they got text. They got cell phones still, and they might have pagers.
BB's like, yes.
Oh, actually, the cell phone thing is interesting for one of these other articles we got. I don't even think I'm going to get to any of my fun stuff. All right. President added the operation was far ahead of an initial estimate time frame for 4 to 5 weeks. He also addressed the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran had threatened to shut down and was the cause of spikes in oil prices. The president said he was considering taking it over and threatened Iran further. They've shot everything they have to shoot, and they better not try anything cute. Look at that, he's rhyming. Or it's going to be the end of that country. Shout what you got to shoot. Don't try anything cute. Good. Stock market recovered much of its losses, and oil markets dropped in value. It was crazy what oil did.
That was wild.
Yeah. There's this guy, Sal Mercogliano, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He runs a website and blog and all this stuff. G Captain. With a great logo. He's got a great logo. But he's basically a merchant mariner type thing. So he's really into the commerce of the seas. And that's kind of what he talks about. But I think he's the one that reposted that a lot of these ships that kill their transponder, go through the strait, kick it back on. And so like boats or ships have been getting through. People that are on ships get really mad when you call them boats.
Yeah, they do.
So I like to call them boats. Dinghies, if you will. Anyway, the oil dinghies would kicked their transponders back on, and then so things started flowing, and so it looked like I think everyone reacted like, oh, oil or fuel's burning in Iran, and it won't be getting anywhere else. And then and it was also burning a little bit in Saudi Arabia, and but we got it, so it calmed down. I am wondering why our pumps got so affected, because they keep saying we're fuel independent, oil independent, or whatever.
Well, I mean, you've got to make sure that, you know, we feel what's going on, whether it's actually being felt or not.
Why isn't it switching to you? Is it? It's flash. Okay.
Me.
That's not doing it, Charlie.
Weird.
Well, anyway, no one cares about your face. Try it again.
And again.
It's switching on the vertical. Whatever. Behind the scenes, people, we run a very tight operation here. So, wait, because I got distracted. What were you saying? About the gas prices?
Yeah, to make sure that, you know, maybe an initial message of, you know, gas prices will be hit at the pump. They had to follow through with it and just raise them.
I don't know. I'm sure it has to do just with boring oil futures and all that kind of stuff. But I just wonder, I wonder why we would have to be so susceptible and to it. Like, if we really are oil independent, you know, one would think that, or the global stage, you should switch to yourself when you talk.
We're good.
How we going? Mm-hmm. Good news, everyone. I fixed it. Charlie couldn't. I did it all by myself.
Well, I saw a slight panic on the internet. You know, people were like, gas prices are going to go through the roof. And then the other oil producers are threatening to lower production. And I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
They've made too much money for too long. That itch will need to be scratched. They're not doing that.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, especially like oil goes up a whole lot. You go, well, let's sell this while the price is high. You know, because we were going to sell it at, much cheaper yesterday. And now we can sell it for much higher today. So let's get that moving. Because what I don't know, and I don't exactly know. I, of course, don't know how oil sales on a global scale really work. But if I was a salesman, I don't even know if they have real salesmen. I'd be calling up whoever, I guess the refineries or something, and be like, you probably want to secure this now. It's only going to go up. It's only going to go up as this conflict goes. So how many barrels can I get you for? Just try to sell all of it.
I know they have to maintain in order to be profitable.
Yeah, I mean, in all the different countries have their different kind of floors and all that.
But then you can sell the byproduct is sellable too. Asphalt, I believe, is a byproduct of refining.
Oh, byproduct. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know everything's made out of oil.
Yeah.
Everything. Which could explain my colon cancer is so prevalent these days. It's the number of people below 40 who are getting colon cancer these days.
Oh, God, you said my colon cancer, and I was like, we're going to need to stop the show right now. What?
No, I didn't. No, I'm
like,
hopefully
what?
Not. Don't jinx me.
Sorry.
No. Yeah, the rates of colon cancer, like the most doctors that handle that kind of area, the colon. I meant internal medicine of the butthole doctors, Charlie. So butthole doctors. Actually, technically, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Mid-sip, Jesus.
But it used to be, it's an old person cancer. It's supposed to be an old person cancer. And now it's not uncommon for 30-year-olds. One of my littlest sister's friends who did live a rough life, she just died of colon cancer. And, granted, she found out in prison, so she had made some mistakes. But still, like, you go, like what? At 30, 32... It's a bit young to have already got it and kicked off.
That really is young.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the old lady when she's doing X-rays for some of these doctors, they 35-year-old girl, 40, but a lot in their 30s, and it's clearly the stuff we consume. I mean, it's the center of the grocery store stuff, I'm sure, but there is a whole lot of oil being used in a whole lot of things. And we are learning that there's a lot of pesticides in bread.
Yep.
Did it stop switching to you, or are you just too quiet?
I got quiet.
Okay, good. The pesticides in bread. What? But Trump is trying to add protections for Roundup for glyphosate, which doesn't seem to match with the whole Make America Healthy Again thing.
Just another thing out the door.
It's an odd choice. Like, it's important. It's like, yeah, I mean, I get it that you want to kill the weeds, but
we got lasers doing it now. Why do we need that?
Did I send that to you? Did you see that?
I've just seen the videos all around.
The laser thing's
awesome.
Cool. Yeah. It's cool. Whoa. Well, you got to be careful talking back and forth. That's dizzying. Killing and can kill pests too. Yeah. I was just telling one of my employees, her grandpa runs a farm up in New York, and that's what he's done for forever. And I was like, laser beams. All right. We have gotten off track, and I blame you, Charlie.
Blame accepted.
Let's see. The president said Iran was looking to end its strike against neighbors. That's the best part about like South Park when they have the Trump character. Was they got a couple of his faces, and so they kind of cut between the different faces they use for him, and he makes some faces. Iran, which is being beat to hell as opposed to blowing them like hell, has apologized and surrendered to its Middle East neighbors and promised that it will not shoot at them anymore, he wrote. This promise was only made because of the relentless U.S. and Israeli strikes. They were looking to take over and rule the Middle East. I think maybe, but that's strong opinion. Do you have a message for the current Ayatollah? He said, I have no message for him, none whatsoever. I forgot to cut to it. That's okay. I saw that, I think Lindsey Graham, I saw somebody was upset, I think it was Lindsey Graham, that Saudi Arabia did not want to strike back on Iran with its own military. One of the things about the Saudis is a lot of like their Air Force. I don't know if it's still like this today, but speaking to a guy who helped train pilots over there, one of the problems is that being a fighter pilot's really cool, right? Like, it's cool.
I'm jealous of them.
Yeah, they're awesome. You get to be Maverick. Who doesn't want to be Maverick? Or Iceman. But so the Saudi, it's like, hey, we got this new Air Force. We need our Top Guns. And so you end up having nephews and family members of these connected royals who are going to be something happening.
There's a fly.
Oh, is there a fly?
Sorry.
There's an assassin or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have family members of the royals that were getting these jobs. And one of the problems is what happens with royals often involves a little bit of inbreeding. And so this guy was talking about how these pilots he was trying to train, and he trained many pilots in his day. He's like they don't learn the things. Like, they make the same mistake over and over and over and over. And then like when it starts getting slightly dim outside as the sun begins to set, they have no visibility whatsoever. And he's like, I think it's years of inbreeding that have affected their vision and brain, basically. So So I don't know if Saudi Arabia, and this was, he was doing this decades ago, so it might be different now. They might have got a proper military, but I don't know why they would when really we're the military. That's kind of the deal. Like, you help us keep oil prices right and, be our little helper in the region. Only occasionally fun terror. When we say it's okay, we'll hold hands afterwards. But anyway, we're not holding hands and all that. Just
We're building them a base, though.
that was Oman, right? In Colorado, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's still moving forward. That was such a weird
Very weird.
thing to do. Okay, we're getting off track. But anyway, I just wonder how effective their military really is, because I think it might be for show to get chicks, and the U.S. does the actual heavy lifting, And also, if they don't strike back against Iran, then they have more, like, creed over there when they're negotiating. Because they go, we didn't hit them. America asked us to. I mean, we didn't. Like, we're trying to make peace. We want to be peaceful with everybody. And so
I'm glad they didn't. I mean, that shows restraint. Who in this world has restraint right now,
Lindsey Graham. He's got fuzzy pink restraints in his nightstand.
Oh, my God. Flag.
What was that word you just said, Charlie?
Flag. L.
Oh, using the hard L, are you?
Oh.
All right. Lindsey Graham's fuzzy pink restraints. That might be the name of the episode.
It's amazing where these episodes go.
Sorry, everybody. All right. What the hell are we talking about? Okay. So this is CBS News, which, holy shit. I'm just having this realization now. Who owns CBS News now? Ellison. And
What doesn't he own?
he's been buying a lot of stuff. But yes, he bought, didn't he buy Warner Brothers or something? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, so I guess to preface this, Okay. To preface this, CBS News is run by Barry Weiss, who gets very mad when people are critical of Israel.
I wonder why.
And what does that mean?
Well, he's Jewish. I'm sorry.
Barry's
Barry. Sorry.
She is Jewish. But
Sorry.
certified Jewish enough to criticize Jewish people. His name is Bean. But Barry's a dame. Bari. But Ellison, I believe, was also of the tribe, not the clan.
M-O-T. M-O-C? That would work too. M-O-C works.
Yeah, but if it was a K, the clan's not big into.
Yeah.
They like burning crosses, not wearing stars. It's a different Lucky Charms. Anyway, okay. So to preface this, CBS News main editor is Barry Weiss, who is very upset about when people get critical of Israel. And it's owned by Keith Ellison, who literally donates to the IDF. Not to help Jewish babies charity. I mean, probably that too. But donates funds directly to the military. And this is just occurring to me now. So anyway, here's the article. United States was likely responsible for bombing of the girls' school in Iran, per early U.S. assessment. That doesn't mean this isn't true. But. All right. U.S. may be responsible for the bombing of a girls' school in Iran that killed 168 people, many of them children, on February 28th. Sources told CBS News. The preliminary U.S. assessment suggests the United States is likely, quote-unquote, responsible for the deadly attack, but did not intentionally target the school and may have hit it in error possibly due to the use of dated intelligence, which wrongly identified the area as still part of an Iranian military installation. A person briefed on the preliminary intelligence told CBS News. Likely. Now, also, next sentence, Israel's military was also not operating in the area. 2 sources told CBS News.
Wow. There's a lot in that.
Go ahead. Take it for a spin.
Small paragraph.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that there is a school that was a part of a military installation?
It used to be a military installation. Now it's a school.
So they converted part of a military installation or the whole military installation into a school.
You know how like we take Air Force bases and we turn them into daycare centers?
Yeah, apparently.
Same thing.
Okay. Well, it makes sense. Totally plausible.
Israel's military was also not operating in the area, Charlie.
Well, I mean, that settles that.
Let's see. Investigators believe U.S. military may have been responsible because it was operating in the area while Israel's military was not, though no final conclusion can be made. Now, okay. No matter what, they're on our side on this one, you know? But...
Did you see the next paragraph?
Let's see. And an Israeli government source told CBS News that Israel was not behind the attack and its military was not operating near the school.
Near the school. But they weren't in the area in the first place, but now they're not near the school.
In the area near the school.
Okay.
White House spokesperson said no conclusions at this time, and it's irresponsible and false for anyone to claim otherwise. So here's the thing. When we've done all of our very precise bombings, whether it was the nuclear facility or getting the Ayatollah or any of these other things, what have we been told about the source of our intelligence, on the ground intelligence?
Israeli intelligence.
That's what we were told. We were told they've got such great spies, Mossad or whatever, that they've been over there. And it was, in part, thanks to the great intelligence, it's teamwork. They go, this is where it's at. We're on the ground. We know these things. This is where it's at. Bombs away, boys. And so let's just say that it is from things that we fired that made the school go boom. It seems like we had bad intelligence. That's bad intelligence. What are we going to do about that? Are we saying that the intelligence gathering abilities of Israel in Iran is not as strong as we thought? Or do we go, hey man, what's that all about? And they go, guess you're not going to criticize us for killing babies, are you?
Wow.
It is one of those things you go like, well, now who killed a bunch of children? Killed a bunch of Arab children? America. And I'm sure that's not the actual motivation. That would be a highly cynical take. And hopefully, dear God, hopefully, the people that lead these countries aren't that cynical, or generals in the military, or Mossad. I'm just talking myself out of this, but like hopefully, even in like the CIA and Mossad, hopefully they're not so cynical to play wild and loose with the lives of children.
Huh. Sounds so familiar.
It's just goes back to that false flag thing. It's like just so much stuff happens. You go, well, surely they wouldn't. Well, I don't know.
We're pawns. We're pawns. We're pawns.
You're a pawn. I'm awesome. What we got here? Let's see. I can probably do this real quick.
Oh, you're good.
I'm trying to see. Maybe we'll do this Epstein thing as a little loaded grok real quick.
Oh, I thought we moved on from Epstein. We're supposed to move on from him.
There's no moving on. He's everywhere. He's the beginning and he is the end.
Oh my God. He's like, right now, he's like, I like that guy.
Yeah. sitting in Columbus, Ohio with his feet up going, this guy gets it. Like, ship a couple crates of teenagers that way. Get this package at the door. I go, what the hell is this? Bunch of bound teenagers. It just says love J.E. Then you got to just stamp it, return to sender, leave it out all night. Okay, I got to stop. All right. I'm going to hell. So, we talked about how the U.S. had purchased a Havana Syndrome gun right before the Venezuelan incursion, where we used something that Donald Trump referred to as the discombobulator. So, it seems like it's real, and that conspiracy was proven true. So right now, a battle is brewing inside a U.S. intelligence community over explosive evidence that Russia may be behind mysterious Havana Syndrome illness. It's been like an open secret that has sickened hundreds of U.S. officials, as the DNI Director DNI Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, pushes to make the findings public after the Biden administration allegedly buried them. Multiple sources familiar with the case told the Post that U.S. intelligence agencies internally concluded Moscow was responsible for the attacks dating back to 2016, but all declined to disclose the determination publicly. U.S. officials are also believed to have obtained at least one of the devices used, as we talked about. Victims of Havana Syndrome, so named because it was first reported by U.S. diplomats in Cuba, have reported sudden onset symptoms including vertigo, hearing loss, migraines, blindness, and cognitive impairment. And apparently we've kicked that up to bleeding out of the eyeballs, according to that Venezuelan guy. A classified report produced by the Office of the DNI criticized Biden administration and intelligence community for conducting a cover-up, according to a source who has seen the report. However, the public release so far has been delayed. CBS News reported that Russia was the likely culprit, but some officials worry that formally blaming Moscow could complicate delicate negotiations. We've been blaming them for years for this.
For everything.
Yeah, for everything. Others say the biggest resistance to Gabbard is coming from the CIA. Ask for a response. Okay, so basically, we paid $15 million for this thing, but I guess what happened is, so the Office of the DNI's review of the issue will be comprehensive, transparency top priority. Oh no, this is just about that dude Adam. So I guess so stage one was kind of like, hey, there was this cover up, the person said. Phase 2 was going to be the 14-day amnesty period for people to come forward and save themselves. Now the process has stalled, with some of those in line to be named and shamed, still holding senior positions at the CIA. They have the people responsible, and they're not doing anything, the source says. They have the list, they have the evidence, they just won't release it. Well, if you do a 14-day amnesty where you say, come forward, no harm, no foul, and then they come forward, you have to honor that. But then, I guess, if you're reporting the cover-up, do you just blame it on Bill who didn't come forward? Right. And Bill's like, hey, all those guys are I can't cover it up by myself. Right. So I don't know. I guess that makes it a tough one. But so I guess back to 2016, we knew it was the Russians. And that it was real. And we were denying claims for people who suffered from it. Yes.
I just got one thing about the discombobulator. Okay. We have said discombobulator. Why did we just carpet bomb Iran?
They're too discombobulated already.
Like, we couldn't have just used it and taken the Ayatollah and accused him of U.S. firearm
Yeah.
laws.
I don't know. I mean,
It worked so well in Venezuela.
it's true. I would say Iran's probably tougher than Venezuela militarily. Maybe they were a little bit more prepared. Maybe the compound was better. I have a feeling. I don't know. I have a feeling that we've not seen the end of the discombobulator. I feel like we'll be discombobulating.
Great.
Yeah, it's it's not a weapon of war. It's just a weapon of going into other people's countries with the military and doing military actions against that country.
Incurring them.
Incurring. It's an incursion we've incurred. I guess it's not that far in. Let's see. We'll just do this. Whatever. We'll just do this now. All right. So, just a little quick up. This won't take that long, I guess. Jeffrey Epstein. A little cherry on top here. Let's see. This is an email where Jeffrey Epstein is introducing William Burns to Peter Thiel. William Burns, at this point, was the Deputy Secretary of State and former director of the CIA. And he's introducing Jeffrey Epstein is introducing him to Peter Thiel, the tech billionaire guy that really is into the Antichrist, and who is responsible largely for J.D. Vance's political career, also for getting J.D. Vance into investment world. So Peter Thiel's been like the mentor to J.D. Vance since about 2011. This is 2014 when Epstein is introducing Thiel to Deputy Secretary of State / former CIA director. One of the interesting things about this is you go, okay, maybe they just they met a couple times or whatever, because he goes, I think you two would enjoy each other. And so when it says Peter, this is what Bill says. He goes, Peter, look forward to meeting you. I'm sorry I wasn't able to come to New York last month, Jeffrey. Many thanks for making introductions. Best regards to you both, Bill. And Peter says, Bill, likewise on this end. Look forward to meeting you in person. Well, there's other emails with old Bill. Let's get... This one starts down here. Jeffrey's trying to get a meeting. He says, you have your schedule, New York, Paris, free time? Let's see. He hopes to be more flexible after he finishes the State Department October 31st. He'll be away on vacation with his wife in November, but hopes to get to New York again. And he goes, Jeffrey Epstein says, enjoy the vacation. I guess you earned it. And then he goes off to the Virgin Islands tomorrow for a week and about to walk out the door of the State Department for the last time. I've agreed to serve as the president of Carnegie Endowments, blah, blah, blah. They've been generously allowing me. Hope to get to New York, in touch, whatever. And Jeffrey Epstein goes, I'm in the Virgin Islands. My private island / home is set between St. Thomas and St. John, Little St. James. Big American flag. I'll be here all week. Come visit. Bring whomever you please. I can send a car to pick you up. And he goes, oh, you're very generous. Thank you. My best laid plans have already shifted. I'll now have to go off and join John Kerry in Oman with the Iranians at the end of this week. So our stay in St. John this time will only be 3 days. I promised Lisa we'd just spend time together, but hope we can take a rain check. I'll want to finish this aborted vacation sometime in the next few months, but I'll also let you know when I get back to New York. Blah, blah, blah. Enjoy next week. See you soon. And Jeffrey Epstein says, you deserve the rest. If you change your mind or Lisa wants to take my boat with you or jet ski, scuba, etc., just call me. My island is the one you pass on the right when you took the ferry to St. John. See you soon. So I would say friendly.
Yeah, Jeff wants him there bad.
Yeah, he there's a lot of emails where he's hitting him up, checking on his schedule. He was checking on the schedule a lot. And there's the meeting that old Bill missed in October. He was also going to talk to the Iranians. This is and Jeffrey Epstein was talking to Pritzker and said, he's like, "Oh, this is the best guy at the State Department, old Bill Burns, and he handled all the secret Iranian negotiations for years and kept them secret." And so he's telling Pritzker to connect with Burns, and part of it was how good he is at keeping a secret. It was interesting. But yeah, now Epstein was all over trying to like pin this guy down. And they exchanged a fair number of emails. Oh.
That's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, did I send this other one? Wait, I don't want to show you that one yet. Dang, I didn't send this. Okay, well, at some point when he's retiring and stuff, because they haven't been able to connect and all that, and so I think he's finally about to like retire from the State Department. But Bill Burns says Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, so Deputy Secretary of the State Department, pretty big job, and former director of the CIA, which is also under the State Department. Two pretty big jobs, right? The guy's got some pull in DC, I'd say. He tells Jeffrey Epstein, "Thank you so much for all of your attention and interest over the years."
Over the years.
Or maybe, I can't remember if he said over the years, but I think he said over the years. But it was, thank you so, like, but he was thanking Epstein for taking an interest in him. And, thanking Epstein basically for letting Bill Burns have access to Jeffrey Epstein. And for Jeffrey Epstein to be willing to consider giving him attention. And you go, well, that's weird.
That is very weird.
Because you would think maybe the other way around. Maybe Epstein would be like, "Thank you so much for being willing to give me your time, Deputy Secretary of the State, Director of the CIA."
But it's the other way around.
It's the other way around. It's odd, right?
Goosebumps odd.
I don't know what this has to do with a children's book series, but being a Jeffrey Epstein investigation thing, I think it's inappropriate.
Classic.
And this is just for you, Charlie. This is an email from Jeffrey Epstein to Bill Burns. Later, actually, this is the same day as this email about vacation and stuff. So all that's at about 2 p.m. So this is about 8 o'clock at night. Rothschild's bank might make sense. I'll set up when you're ready. P.S. If you want a car and driver and or boat to take to the airport, easy. So, I don't know what they're talking about in between there, but at 8 o'clock, Epstein's like, "You know what? Rothschild Bank, that's probably what you should look at. I'll set it up for you when you're ready." So Jeffrey Epstein is setting up a bank account for Bill Burns at the Rothschild Bank, which when you search that, he has a very good working relationship with the French Rothschilds, Andrea de Rothschild. So he's got a lot of communication with her.
She's a CEO of the Rothschild group right now, I think.
Yeah, she's the first head of it that isn't born into the family. She's married into it, and not married into it as part of the family. But
they branched out?
It seems that they stopped intermarrying in the 20th century.
Good for them.
Yeah. They did a lot of intermarrying in the 19th century in particular. But at some point they said, "We've run out of cousins." You can only do that crisscross so many times where you go, "All right, this tree is getting very hard to navigate."
We can't fly fighter jets. No.
We can't see the money. Our feet are getting very webbed. We're swimming excellent, though. That's the other side of it. But yeah, so as far as like conspiracy land, anytime you can get the Rothschilds in there, that's good. But Jeffrey Epstein setting up bank accounts Jeffrey Epstein, world-class money launderer, setting up bank accounts with the Rothschild Bank for the director of the CIA / Deputy Secretary of State is something fairly incredible. Because you would think, let's just say you directed the CIA for a while. I think you could set up a bank account.
I would hope so.
I've set up bank accounts. Have you set up bank accounts?
Yes.
You have a debit card and stuff?
Yes.
Neat. Anyway, Jeffrey's very helpful. Back in 2014, it was harder to set up bank accounts.
He's a good bank teller.
Yeah, what was that, 12 years ago? That's basically the 1800s. Did you set up any bank accounts 12 years ago?
Yes.
You had a bank account back then, huh?
Yes.
Well, it's hard for some people to do, and that's why you need a friend like old J.E. One quick little thing. Yeah, I think we already talked about this. But yeah, so the thing about Peter Thiel is he gave lots of money to J.D. Vance. And he, I guess, beyond all that, what's his current company?
Yeah.
Say it. I know, I can't remember either. I'm trying to Palantir.
Thank you.
So he has started this company that is basically the information database for the federal government so that they can be better about connecting all the data they have on all the people in the country. Plus, there's a bunch of military stuff, too. They're constantly working on ways to interact with Palantir software to get whatever data they need as quick as possible. So he is connected to Epstein. He got connected to the Deputy Secretary of State in 2014. After that, he helped J.D. Vance get elected to the Senate, helped J.D. Vance and Trump win the presidency, and he also got a sweetheart deal where he's basically the information technology guru for the United States government. And he's netted more than $113 million in federal spending in the past year. Yeah.
Like, personally?
Palantir has.
Oh.
They've got $113 million in government contracts.
So you got like 50% of that.
I'm sure he's doing fine. And he's going to use it all to fund his next web series on the Antichrist.
Great.
If we were better at this, I could have tied all that Antichrist stuff at the beginning to this stuff at the end and really, done it on purpose. If we were better at this. But we're not, so...
We did the fighter jet thing pretty well.
Yeah, that was good, yeah. We do things. We do things, Charlie. All right, well, like and subscribe and tell your friends on the Rumbles and the YouTubes and the Spotifys and the Apples and the other places where you find the things. Hit the bell because people think that's important. Yeah, I don't know. We got the little thing of the thing.
Yep. Today's Grok fact of the day. Did you know that on March 10th, 1876, Alexander Graham Bell made the first successful telephone call to his assistant? Thomas Watson sang, "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." This breakthrough paved the way for modern communication as we know it.
And then they embraced in a passionate kiss. And that's why every year on March 10th, Lindsey Graham blows the hell out of them.